Hey everyone, David Coe, the Co Real Estate Group. Hey, I'm here with my good friend Matt Owens, and we want to actually talk about what we're doing in FIBI. We're actually working on our 2026 calendar, but we do have our first event ready. It's on February the 11th, 6:30 p.m. It's in El Segundo. I'm going to have the link downstairs. And Matt, you're going to be hosting a fireside chat with our good buddy Jeremy Roll. What are some of the interesting things you think you guys will get into?
I think in today's climate, it's really interesting to see some of the different things people are doing to raise capital. And I think, going over some of the asset classes specifically that are easy or hard to raise for, some of the new asset classes people are interested in and people are shifting towards might be a really good topic to discuss, as that fireside chat. I think also, potentially the interest rate environment and how that's affecting the market is right now and how it is to affect your deal in itself.
Yeah, I think it's going to be like I know a lot of people that are invested into LP investment, passive investments these days. A lot of deals are kind of going sideways because of interest rates. So I know it's been hard for investors that are looking to raise capital just because they don't know where the next cash in refi is coming from or
Right.
capital call or something like that. I mean, you raised some capital. Do you think it's been easier or harder to raise capital, this last year?
Yeah, I think actually, the multifamily fallout, I'll call it, or, some of the repositionings of those assets and the capital calls and the, issues, I say, with foreclosures in that market or because of the change in rates that occurred, that fallout has really affected investor sentiment and has really affected their mentality when it comes to investing. And I think they're being a lot more careful and choosy about which investments they go into. And a lot of them are not bullish on multifamily just because they got harmed from it, even though it had a 20% correction. So from that aspect, and we're seeing a softening of rates to a degree, it looks like, from going forward, it might be a lot more stable, even though they were harmed. But so these are some of the discussion topics that I think we can talk about in more depth and get Jeremy's opinion on and, discuss with the group to see what everybody else is actually seeing as well out there in the market.
I think a good one since we've got Jeremy would be on due diligence, and I always tell investors, what you invest in is not as important as who you invest with. And I know you
Right.
kind of share in that belief as well. What do you think are some of the things talking about due diligence that you guys will get into?
Well, I think just learning from what we've just saw in the market and the changes in the market that not everything is always going to be the same as interest rate environments. There could be volatility coming up. And how do you actually mitigate the risk and do the right due diligence? And what did we just learn from, right? Make sure that there's interest rate caps on your loans, that you're going to be able to refinance even if interest rates go up. Make sure that, you have the right longer term financing in place. Those are just three things from a multifamily perspective that might add value when you're doing homework now going forward to make sure that gets done. But there's a lot of other things about what's happening in the overall economy and what due diligence should we be doing now relative to what's occurring. And as we all know, Jeremy loves talking about the economy and stuff and being able to go deep dive on different aspects and what's happening right now. So we'll be able to talk about some of those risks and maybe some of the due diligence we should be doing along the way on all of our investments going forward.
Well, look, we've had a nice little dip in interest rates, at least on the residential side here. So this could be a very timely conversation. For those of you who don't know, Jeremy Roll is a full-time passive investor. He's done hundreds of different types of investments in different kinds of asset classes. And, Matt's also, both on the capital raising side and investing as a passive investor himself. So it's going to be a great panel. Again, it's February the 11th. It's at the CBRE office in El Segundo on Rosecrans. The information is below. Matt, it's going to be great. Can't wait to hear you guys, chop it up in person there.
And then the networking afterwards, of course, and always the good food and everything. And that's the whole point of Phoebe is the networking and the relationship. So, and also, of course, the knowledge base that we learn too from everybody in the room. So really cool to be able to have all those benefits.
Awesome. Well, look, if you are looking to invest passively, if you're looking to syndicate and then raise capital from passive investors, this is the meeting for you. Come join us on February the 11th. Matt, thank you so much. I'll see you then.
Thanks, man.
All right. Bye, everyone.